All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes for March 27. So we're going to be looking at this for the first time. If you don't know what the Global Lab notes are, it's basically the test server, and the patch notes go live to the live server the following week. It's always a good idea to check it out and see what's happening. So yeah, I heard some classes got buffed. I heard Dark Knight was one of them. I didn't read it. I just kind of saw a preview, but let's see what's happening. In today's update, increases the damage of certain classes whose skill combos felt unrewarding relative to their difficulty in PvE. Additionally, PvE damage with long casting times has been buffed. That's good. No one's getting nerfed today as far as this says, so PvE buffs are always good. Warrior. Admittedly, I don't really know warriors too much, but if number goes up, that's good. I think, in my opinion, warriors do need a buff. They're very tanky, which I thought was the trade-off, like extremely tanky but mid-tier damage, but apparently it was a little too low, so that's good. Warriors in a nice spot. Succession, Berserkers. Do Berserkers really need damage buffs? I think so. I've heard Choice talk about it, and I always thought Berserkers were just in a good spot across the board, but guess not. So Perlibus thinks Berserkers need buffs, so it is what it is. Dark Knight. Yeah. Awakening Dark Knight definitely needs more buffs, and I look at these numbers and I'm like, this does not seem like what Succession is capable of. Like, I get it. Succession was created to, like, supposed to be doing more damage than Awakening just because you're trading off like half of your skill line. But these numbers don't really seem like they're 1-to-1 equal. Maybe it's better than before, obviously, but it's maybe like 5, maybe 10% off of Succession, which, I mean, I think that's fine. You are playing a different style, like range versus melee. So I still expect Succession to be doing more overall damage, but the play style is just different. So I'm glad Awakening Dark Knight is seeing some buffs after all these years. Megu. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I've heard a lot of people talking about where the Succession was just not as on par as Awakening. I do have a little bit of experience with Megu as well. My current one is Awakening because of the damage output. But I actually thought Megu Succession was actually very easy to play. It's easy to follow a rotation and everything, so I'm glad to see Succession damage numbers being buffed. Dosa PvE damage has been increased. That's kind of scary when you think of Dosa getting buffs, because Dosa buffs are very strong, and also they have a large AoE as well. But I don't know. I only have played Awakening Dosa because I like the little color thingies, and pressing those in order feels very satisfying. But Succession, I don't really know too much about, so I guess that's good. Deadeye PvE changes. Dude, every time I read about Deadeye changes, they were like, when they released, Deadeye was at a very strong spot, and then it was strong for a really long time, then it got nerfed a little bit. I think that was PvP though. And then now we're getting more PvE buffs for Succession. So what scares me about Deadeye PvE is like, you can hit things off screen, and that's why it got nerfed in PvP before. But I guess that actually makes it good, because it makes pulling enemies significantly easier. And just like overall, I think Deadeye might be like A to S tier PvE after these changes. Dracania, a Goku class, whatever that is. Oh wait, hold on, get out. This is Shy. Wait. No, wait. I don't actually know what this one is. And Seraph. Okay. improved the inland fishing revenue for Odraxia, and Asperkin is Ulakita, and this village over here. Oh, this is Mountain of Eternal Winter, the Ilton area. I don't know why I just have these memorized by picture. That's a nice picture. That's a nice screenshot, actually. So yeah, fishing buffed in Odraxia, Ilton, Mountain of Eternal Winter, and Ulakita town. That's good. Every other week, I've been seeing fishing buffs in various towns, and during the Calpheon Ball, they talked about how they wanted to keep things or buff things on par with Velia Beach, and I think that's good. So, good to know. Increases or changes to the price cap of crafted items on the central market. Oh, these are all Morning Light crafts, and those look like the ones from the Royal Workshop, actually. Ooh, this one is going up to 1 billion. Low key, these are really good for gathering. Well, a lot of these are very good, but they're very niche because they're so hard to get. And are they worth 1 billion though? That's hard to say. I think it's worth more than 200, maybe less than 1 billion though. Because even if you're gathering, you use this, gain 500 energy, right? And then for the next hour, you're gaining, a lot more energy with it. So yeah, the opportunity cost though, do you make 2 to 3 billion? Yeah, but I don't know. If you're comparing it to other life skills, maybe not, or grinding especially. So yeah, I don't think this will be it'll probably go up to 1 billion and then people will start selling them. But realistically, I think the price is around 500-600 mil probably for that one. And then the one that gives item drop rate will be significantly maxed out, though. That one is always important. Alchemy and cooking tools going up in price. That's always good. Forest wagon path from 2 to 5 billion. Yeah, this one kind of deserves an upgrade in price. A lot of these old tools, though, if you're not using the 5,000 cooking tool, you're I don't know. It's not really worth it, to be honest. And forest path, accessories or the wagon wheel, the horse gear, or except on the wagon. Fishing rods going up in price. The Balanos rod is the only one really worth using if you're free to play or you're not using special ones. So yeah, Balanos rod going up 850% almost to 10 mil. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. 10 mil per plus 0. Whatever. I mean, the way you get a Balanos fishing rod plus 10 is by forcing it anyway. So chances are, if you are spending maybe a bill tops on a Balanos rod, you are making that silver back in a day. So don't worry, don't panic. It's not a big deal. Unnecessary wording has been removed from the Spectre's energy, and its usage has been made clearly. So basically, the only reason you use this now is to make pen black stars, but that's also kind of irrelevant. Spectre's energy comes... I think you can make a few other things, but they're also irrelevant. So, I don't know. Most people just either hold on to them or just vendor it for 30 mil. So, it's not really important in 2026 anymore. World bosses, Vell and Garmoth have been increased. You get more 100 mil bars, more 10 mil bars. Oh, that's actually really good. Change to guaranteed, so you get 200 200 to 240 mil guaranteed for going to Garmoth. That's pretty good for like a 5-minute activity. Or that's Vell. Yeah, Vell. I don't think people are going to Vell for the silver. They're going for the heart. But I mean, it's nice to just join a platoon and get free silver. So that's always nice. Garmoth bundle, just more silver as usual. That's always good. Nothing bad about this change. Everyone's just making more silver. Always good. Among the quests in Black Desert, there are cases where there is little reason to proceed after a long time has passed, or where the quest has been remade to make it better to complete the latest version. Therefore, an update has been implemented to clean up outdated content. Good change. No longer be processed. The Perilla's Star, Fugar's Secret to Success, previous season special gifts, and 2020 season rewards. Yeah, basically, if you didn't play it back then, those rewards are no longer relevant, so they're just kind of removing that one. Honestly, even as a person who played it in 2020, like when seasons first came out, they were like nice rewards, but they weren't like game changing back then. So now especially, they're kind of irrelevant. So yeah, you didn't miss out much. Even if you're starting new today, it's irrelevant. Okay, background NPCs and cutscenes, effects that have been added to the terrain knowledge. Okay. Resurrection points to blue battlefield. Dude, Prolobis is doing everything except letting people merc into blue battlefield. Like, I would love to do it, but I don't want to have to, like, literally guild hop just to do that. Just let me merc like they do in Node Wars and Sieges, and then literally everything would be fine. Unless they did that. As far as I know, they didn't, though. But I would love to do blue battlefield one day. Olvia Academy Estate Resurrection Location, Olvia Coast. Okay, so new spawn points. Fixed an issue with Orbita light buff obtained in the Orbita Castle, is applying a -30 defense reduction. I thought they removed that like 5 patches ago, maybe like a couple months ago. Was that still a thing? Even though they said they fixed it a couple patches ago? Okay, then. Well, that's kind of scary. People are expecting not to take a fat damage debuff, but now it's fixed next patch. A lot of quality of life changes and various bugs. You know, one thing that I have always noticed a bug for, so this one is for the Party Black Shrine, the Bong Wang boss, the Firebird, as we all know. If you have all your volume off, or like even 0 and muted, the sound effects will still go off. I don't know why, but it's been like that since day one. It doesn't really bother me, but just know that like if you were playing with all your audio off in-game settings, you will still hear that one. And I just never really bothered to report it, just because I feel like there's bigger things, and that's been a bug since day one of release. But let me know, do you guys have that effect, like, issue as well? And yeah, that's the end of today's patch notes. Pretty quick patch notes today. I think the highlights for this one were Garmoth Vell upgrades and price cap increase for various things. Those are kind of niche though. And class buffs for PvE. That's really good. I assume that, you know, they're just kind of going down a list and then whatever comes next. So Prolobis, my advice for you. Certain class that needs PvE buffs. Maywa. That's a big one. Maywa. Tamer, probably a little bit. I don't know why they picked Berserker, though, I'm going to be honest. But I would love to see some other classes, you know, the ones that don't really see much love get PvE buffed. And yeah, maybe start with Maywa, maybe Courser a little bit again. And yeah, we'll see what happens next week. But other than that, solid patch for PvE buffs. There was nothing negative to say today, so that's not like super important notes, but there's nothing bad. So overall, it's a good buff. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.